Before we dive into the darkest prison story you've ever heard, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and leave a comment. Because what you're about to hear is the kind of case detectives still whisper about in fear. The door slammed so hard the lights shook. Officer Ryan Carter froze. In front of him, a tall inmate, bent over at the waist, hands cuffed behind his back, whispered one quiet sentence. Someone escaped. No inmate had ever escaped Black Dolphin. Not in Russia. Not in the entire history of the prison. And now Ryan, a U.S. investigator visiting for a joint report, felt his heartbeat crash into his ribs. A siren howled through the hallway. Guards sprinted. Metal boots pounded like thunder. And then, every light suddenly went out. Darkness. Pitch black. A hand grabbed Ryan's shoulder. Hours earlier, everything had felt almost calm. Ryan Carter, a seasoned investigator from Chicago, had flown into Russia on a rare international assignment. His team from the FBI's Violent Crimes Division was building a report comparing maximum security prisons around the world. They needed evidence, case files, timelines, details that could help prevent future homicides inside America's most dangerous facilities. Ryan expected a normal inspection, maybe a few interviews, nothing more. But then he saw Black Dolphin. The name came from a metal statue outside the main gate, a giant black dolphin with sharp fins and cold eyes. Guards said it was a warning. Visitors said it looked like a tombstone. Inside, the rules hit Ryan immediately. Inmates walked bent over, forced forward so they could not attack. Every hallway had cameras. Every cell had double doors, metal bars, and no blind spots. Prisoners were locked inside almost 23 hours a day. And these were not normal criminals. These were serial killers, cannibals, terrorists, men who had ended entire families, children, entire streets. Ryan felt a chill crawl up his spine when he passed cell 42. The man inside, Victor Pavlov, had once been connected to an unsolved disappearance in Florida, an American tourist named Amanda Hayes. Her case file had haunted detectives for years. Seeing Pavlov in person felt like staring into the heart of every nightmare the U.S. media had ever warned about. But something was strange. Pavlov looked too calm, too alert, like he knew something. The prison warden, Captain Mikhailov, led Ryan and two other American detectives, Emily Brooks from Texas and Jordan Hill from Ohio, down a narrow corridor. The air smelled of metal and cold stone. Every step echoed. The walls were thick enough to mute human screams, the kind of silence that made people's skin crawl. Then came the first shock. A guard sprinted toward them, face pale, voice shaking. "Captain, cell breach in Block D." Mikhailov froze. Impossible. But the guard insisted. The lock was open from the inside. Emily Brooks frowned. Inside? How? These locks can't be tampered with. Mikhailov swallowed hard. Unless someone gave him the key. Ryan felt his stomach twist. If someone inside the prison helped a murderer escape, it meant corruption. It meant motive. It meant danger. As they rushed to Block D, Ryan noticed something odd. A door that should have been closed was open, just a crack. A cold draft leaked out. Something metallic glinted on the floor. A broken handcuff. Jordan knelt, examining it like evidence from a crime scene back in New York. "This was cut," he said. "Clean. Someone used a tool." The hallway grew quieter. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes people stop breathing. Then they saw the cell. Open. Empty. Victor Pavlov gone. Captain Mikhailov yelled into his radio. Guards sealed the exits. Alarms wailed. Red lights flashed. Emily muttered, "This is bad. Really bad." Ryan felt a heavy fear settle in his chest. Pavlov knew U.S. victims. He knew American cases. If he escaped, he had motive, rage, plans. And then things got worse. A guard screamed. Everyone spun toward the sound. A body lay face down on the floor, blood trailing from the mouth. A small metal object was clenched in the dead man's hand. A stolen master key. Ryan's eyes widened. Pavlov wasn't just escaping. He was hunting. The alarm kept screaming as Ryan, Emily, and Jordan rushed toward the fallen guard. The red lights flashed across the hallway like warning signals from another world. Captain Mikhailov shouted orders in Russian while his officers spread out in every direction, weapons raised. But Ryan could see the truth in the captain's face. Fear. Real fear. A killer had slipped through the bars of the most secure prison in the country, and now he was somewhere in the dark. Ryan knelt beside the dead guard. The man's eyes were open, frozen in terror. His uniform was damp with cold sweat. Emily checked the key in the man's hand. "This is a master override," she whispered. "It opens almost every door." Jordan shook his head. So Pavlov didn't just break out of his cell. He broke into other areas too. The thought sent a chill down Ryan's spine. If Pavlov wanted revenge, he could target guards, or visitors, or the Americans standing here right now. Ryan felt the heavy air press against his lungs. For a moment, everything slowed. Then Captain Mikhailov snapped them back. "We move as one. Do not separate." The prison hallways felt tighter now, as if the walls were closing in. Every echo sounded like footsteps. Every shadow looked alive. They reached a junction where 3 steel corridors split in different directions. The security cameras along the ceiling flickered. Static buzzed through the speakers. "He cut the feeds," Mikhailov said. "He knows where to blind us." Emily's voice was barely a whisper. How would he know the layout? Ryan already knew the answer. Someone gave him information. A traitor. An inside accomplice. Someone with access to keys, cameras, and guard routes. Someone who knew the Americans were here today. That planted a heavy question in Ryan's mind. Was Pavlov after them specifically? They turned toward the medical wing. It was the only area Pavlov could reach that held tools sharp enough to cut steel cuffs. The corridor was colder here, darker. The air heavy with the smell of disinfectant. Ryan scanned every corner, every doorway. Jordan checked the locks. Everything looked normal, until they reached the surgical room. The door hung open. Inside, the stainless steel counters gleamed. The overhead lamps swung slowly, creaking. Cabinets hung open. Surgical instruments, scalpels, clamps, bone saws, were missing. Emily breathed out shakily. He's armed. Ryan noticed something else. A footprint on the floor. Bare. Wet. Leading deeper into the room. Jordan raised his flashlight. The beam followed the tracks to a dark storage cabinet. Something moved inside. Jordan stepped forward. "Slow," Ryan warned. Jordan pulled the door open. A man fell out, another guard, alive but tied up with medical bandages, mouth taped, eyes wide with terror. Emily tore off the tape as the man gasped for air. He's not alone," the guard choked out. "Pavlov, he has help, he has." The hallway lights snapped off. Total blackness swallowed them. The flashlight flickered, then died. Someone whispered in the dark. A voice they all recognized. Pavlov. Ryan could hear the inmate's breath right behind them, steady and controlled. His voice was soft, too soft, like he was smiling. "You brought your American detectives, finally." Ryan's heart hammered. He tried to pinpoint the sound, but the voice bounced across the room, distorted, impossible to track. Pavlov kept talking. "You came here for answers. So I'll give you one." Metal scraped. A sound like a blade sliding across steel. "Amanda Hayes wasn't my only one." Emily froze. "He's talking about the missing tourist case." Jordan whispered, "He knows we're here. He planned this." Then, the lights exploded back on, and Pavlov stood in the doorway, bent over, shackles dangling from his wrists, a stolen bone saw in his hand. Before anyone could move, he lunged at Captain Mikhailov. The blade sliced across the captain's vest, sparks flying as metal met metal. Guards screamed. Guns lifted. Ryan grabbed Emily and Jordan, pulling them back as chaos erupted. Pavlov didn't run this time. He fought. He moved fast, too fast for someone who'd been locked up for years. He slashed one guard across the arm, disabling him instantly. Another guard fired, but Pavlov ducked and vanished behind a metal column, slipping into the hallway like smoke. Mikhailov fell to one knee, gripping his vest where the blade struck. "He's heading for Block A," he shouted. That leads to visitor's exit. Ryan's stomach dropped. If Pavlov reached that exit, he'd be outside. Loose. Free. Possibly already planning to return to the U.S. and finish whatever he started with the missing women connected to his case files. Emily turned to Ryan, fear in her eyes. If he gets out, this becomes an international manhunt. Jordan loaded his weapon. Then we don't let him get out. But just as they stepped into the hallway to pursue Pavlov, a deafening crash shook the entire prison. Dust rained from the ceiling. Metal screamed. A door somewhere ahead slammed open so hard the whole corridor shook. A guard yelled from the far end. Block A has been breached. Someone opened every door. Every inmate in that wing. Serial killers. Terror suspects. Violent offenders. All now unlocked. Ryan whispered one horrified word. Impossible. But it was real. The doors began swinging open one by one, and shadows stepped out. Shadows poured into the hallway like a slow-moving wave. Bent figures. Heavy footsteps. Shackles clinking against the floor. One door after another creaked open, and the air filled with the deep breathing of men who had spent years locked in tiny concrete boxes. Ryan felt his blood turn cold. These weren't ordinary inmates. These were the killers Black Dolphin kept hidden from the world. Men responsible for homicides in New York, kidnappings in Arizona, carjackings in Chicago, bomb plots in Nevada. Now they stood in the open, staring with empty eyes. Emily whispered, "We need cover." Now, Jordan pulled them behind a steel barrier as Captain Mikhailov limped toward them, clutching his torn vest. "This is Pavlov," he growled. "He opened the doors to distract us." But Ryan knew better. Pavlov didn't do anything without purpose. He wasn't just running. He was orchestrating a path, like a detective studying crime scenes, like a killer analyzing evidence. Every move had a motive. The hallway trembled as inmates spread out like hunters, testing the air. One stepped forward, a massive man they recognized from the case files. Ivan Lebedev, a former gang enforcer tied to 3 cold homicide investigations in California. He cracked his neck, eyes narrowing at the Americans. Jordan whispered, "If they rush us, we're done." But then something unexpected happened. All the inmates stopped, frozen, silent, listening, because footsteps echoed from the far end of the corridor. Slow, steady, sharp. Pavlov. He walked upright now, no longer bent over as the rules demanded. His posture tall, almost proud. The bone saw hung loosely from his right hand. His eyes, cold and strangely calm, scanned the freed inmates. Not to free them, not to command them, but to see how much chaos he had created, how much fear he had spread. Then he turned his gaze to Ryan. "Chicago investigator," Pavlov said softly. "Now you understand why I waited." Ryan stepped forward. "You planned this for years." "Not years," Pavlov replied. "Decades." Behind him, inmates shifted restlessly. Some watched with animal curiosity. Some waited for a chance to run. But none moved toward Pavlov. Even free, they feared him. Mikhailov whispered, "He's using them." A wall of killers. Pavlov smiled barely. "Black Dolphin breaks men. But not me. I saved myself for today." Emily clenched her jaw. "Why? What do you want from us?" Pavlov tilted his head. "Closure." The word hung in the air like a blade. He stepped closer. Too close. Ryan felt the temperature drop. The weight of every case file flashing through his mind. The missing U.S. tourists. The unexplained disappearances near Russian borders. The rumor that Pavlov had traveled across several American states decades earlier under a false name, Victor Lane. A ghost that detectives in Illinois once whispered about but could never capture. "I kept a secret from your country," Pavlov said. "A final victim. Someone you never found." Emily's breath caught. "Who?" Pavlov opened his mouth to answer, but the prison exploded with noise. Guards from the emergency response unit stormed the corridor, shields raised, shouting commands in Russian. Inmates roared back, some rushing forward, others fleeing. The hallway erupted into chaos, metal clashing, boots thundering, bodies slamming into walls. Mikhailov pulled Ryan toward a side passage. Move. Now. Jordan grabbed Emily as the crowd surged. An inmate lunged at them with a sharpened toothbrush, but Ryan blocked him with a metal tray ripped from the wall. Another inmate tried to grab Emily's arm, but Jordan tackled him, knocking the man unconscious. Screams echoed. A siren blared overhead. Smoke drifted from a broken fuse box. The corridor became a battlefield. But Pavlov was gone, vanished in the chaos. Ryan spotted a dark streak on the floor, a trail of wet footprints leading to a security staircase. He pointed. He went up. They sprinted, slipping on debris, climbing the metal steps 2 at a time. The staircase rattled with every step. Ryan pushed through the door at the top and froze. They stood inside the visitor's security hall, the final checkpoint before the outside gate. The room was empty. Quiet. Too quiet. Jordan scanned the area. Where is he? There's nowhere to go. Emily pointed to the main exit, a thick steel gate with heavy bolts. A red light blinked on the control panel beside it. It's locked. He didn't escape through here. Ryan felt a sinking realization. He's not trying to leave Russia. They turned slowly and saw him. Pavlov stood in the center of the room, back straight, eyes calm, hands empty now. The bone saw lay on the floor. He had placed it there on purpose, like evidence in a crime scene. I told you, he said. I wanted closure. Ryan stepped forward, heart pounding. Tell us the name. Pavlov looked directly into Ryan's eyes. The victim was not Amanda Hayes, he said. It was her sister. Emily gasped. What? Her sister was never reported missing. Because, Pavlov whispered, your country never knew she came to see me. Jordan's face drained of color. Came to see you? Why? Pavlov smiled softly, almost sadly. To ask what happened to Amanda. Silence dropped like stone. Pavlov raised his hands as guards burst into the room, weapons drawn. He didn't resist. He didn't run. He simply said, I am finished. Ryan, Emily, and Jordan stood frozen as Russian guards tackled Pavlov to the ground, cuffing him, dragging him away. But Pavlov kept his eyes on the Americans. And he said one final sentence. You will find her where the Black Dolphin swims. The guards hauled him out the door. Ryan stared at Emily and Jordan. This isn't over. Emily nodded. Not even close. Jordan whispered the last words of the night. We have a new case.